Okay, so this is take one, July 3rd, Saturday, 2021, and this is Mallory sharing some of her awarenesses about Newton.
So I've had Newton for 2 months now, since I got him on May 1st. And since getting Newton, I've already noticed that a lot of my everyday symptoms that I've experienced for years have started to go away a bit. So I have cyclic vomiting syndrome, but since having Newton, I haven't had an episode of any kind in the 2 months since he came home with me. Which is kind of amazing because I used to have multiple episodes a month, and it would happen anywhere, anytime, in public, at home, in the middle of the night while I was sleeping. But since he has been with me and been my service dog in training, I haven't had a single episode, and it's definitely improved my quality of life a lot.
And when you were talking to doctors about there's Newton, about your cyclic vomiting syndrome, did they know the cause?
There was not any recorded definitive cause of it. My psychiatrist suspected that it might be stress or anxiety related, but because of the fact that episodes were happening in the middle of the night while I was asleep and seemingly relaxed, they thought that it probably couldn't be completely stress or anxiety related, because when I'm asleep, it's not very obvious to me if I'm stressed or anxious. So there was no definitive cause from doctors, but since getting Newton, since I haven't had an episode, I have a feeling that it was just stress and anxiety related, and he's helped decrease that so much that I haven't had an episode.
And to what do you attribute him having decreased your stress and anxiety in the last 2 months?
I think part of it is just that I find him to be a very calming presence, but also a very playful presence. He makes me laugh a lot more than I usually do. He's helped me be a lot more active to get a lot of my energy out, which my psychiatrist also thinks that some of my anxiety and overall panic attacks could be from some built up energy, that my mind's racing but my body's not getting the same level of activity. And so he's done a lot of different things with just helping me feel a lot more calm in situations where I'm usually really stressed, but also helping me get out that energy that was probably leading to some of my anxious tendencies.
And what other significant life changes would you say you're experiencing since even making the decision several months ago to even get Newton?
Well, I've noticed that since I was visiting Newton, even when he was a really little puppy, that that excitement and was giving me, and getting to see him and visit him and play with him at dips, I was getting a lot more just happiness from it, and I was spending a lot more time outside than I used to. Well, I used to when I was a lot younger, but a lot more time outside since being diagnosed with everything. So I've just noticed I laugh a lot more now, because he is a very silly dog that does a lot of very weird things.
Has he changed anything for you socially?
I used to have a lot of trouble going to restaurants with my family, because I found restaurants to be incredibly overwhelming, because if I couldn't find something to eat on the menu, and then things were loud and everything got really overwhelming for me, and I used to cry at restaurants a lot. But I was able to, with Newton, go to sit outside on a patio with my family. It was really loud. There were tons of people. There was music playing. The menu was kind of overwhelming, and I, for the first time in such an overwhelming situation, didn't have a total breakdown, which was a nice change, because I don't really like crying in public at restaurants. It's not a really fun experience.
Okay, so less crying, more laughing.
Yeah.
Better quality sleep.
Mm-hmm.
None of this cyclic vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
Any changes to any medications, or are they pretty stable as they've been?
My medications have been pretty stable so far.
Okay.
I went up right in January as I came home, which kind of coincided a little bit with the process with Newton. And I think Newton mixed with the dose that I'm currently on has made my quality of life overall a lot better.
And how has having Newton changed your immediate future plans? Your soon-to-be plans, I should say.
My soon-to-be... Well, I am going back to school in the fall. And I'm actually like taking a more full course load than I have in previous years because I have been like too stressed or depressed to do schoolwork a lot. And I have just like a lot of plans like with my roommates and traveling and like things that I want to do in my life in the future. Like before Newton, I have had issues with anxiety and OCD and everything and didn't spend a lot of time outside, but now I've looked at possibly in the future doing an internship at one of the national parks and spending a lot more time doing things outdoors that I used to love doing when I was a kid that I haven't done in years.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing all that. That's really great to hear, and I have high hopes for you in Newton and Canada.